Rainbow Sisters Bets by Gakka Rainbow Sisters. It was a fine day at the Rainbow Castle. Rose was beating up Izzy. Lidwina was eating chocolate and making an invention that was sure to explode. Lara was eavesdropping on Wanda, who was putting on makeup. And Leilani was riding her bull while serving as a victim to one of Marta's hour-long speeches. So after I spoke, Marta, "Do you ever stop talking?" asked Leilani. "It's getting pretty annoying." "Do you ever stop riding that bull?" asked Marta. "Why, every time I see you, you're riding that thing." "I could go without my bull," said Leilani. "And I could go without talking," said Marta. "Marta, go without talking," said Rose as she stopped beating up Izzy for the moment. "No way. It's more likely she could do that than you stop beating up people," butted in Lidwina. "I smell a bet," said Lara. "Do you ever stop eavesdropping?" asked Wanda. "I will if you stop putting all that makeup on," said Lara. "I can give up working out," said Izzy. "It's not like it would hurt you," said Rose. "You have no muscle as it is." "Yeah, you should be strong, like me," said Lidwina. "I wouldn't be talking," said Leilani. "You're getting a bit pudgy from all that chocolate." Lidwina looked down at her stomach and mumbled some sounds. "It sounds like we got a bet going," said Marta. "Wait just a second," said Wanda. "There has to be something in it for me. Why should I give up makeup?" "Let's say a reward," said Lidwina. "Winner gets 200 coins. The Rainbow Sisters all widened their eyes. "But who's going to supply us with the money?" asked Lara. "Let's go ask MOM," said Leilani. All the Rainbow Sisters ran off into the living room, where Raina, Carlos and Kelly Mary were sitting. "Mummy, us Rainbow Sisters are having a bet," said Leilani. "And we're wondering if you could donate 200 coins as a reward." "What?" yelled Raina. "What's going on?" "You see, we're each going to see who can go the longest without something they love," said Leilani. "I'm going to give up my ball." "I'm going to give up beating up people," said Rose. "I'm going to give up working out," said Izzy. "I'm going to give up eavesdropping," said Lara. "I'm going to give up makeup," said Wanda. "I'm going to give up talking," said Marta. "And I shall give up chocolate," said Lidwina. That started Raina. "A great idea," exclaimed Carlos. "I'd be happy to supply those 200 coins." "It sounds great." "Stupid," yelled Raina. "You know, you have an awful habit of yelling," said Carlos. "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" "Oh no, no. No way I'm doing this," said Raina. "Ah, looks like someone's a labuboo," teased Carlos. "Gr. Fine, I'll join in this silly bet," said Raina. "But Lidwina can't invent anything either." "No chocolate and no inventions," yelled Lidwina. "Are you asking me to kill myself? Why do I have to give up two things I love when everyone else has to give up one?" "Because I mainly yell when your inventions explode," said Raina. "So to prevent that, no inventing for you." "Got it." "Yes," said Lidwina sadly. Hey, this will be quite interesting to watch," said Kelly Mary, who had now joined in the conversation. "Oh really, Mrs. Magic," said Raina. "Why don't you put your money where your mouth is?" "Think you can give up magic?" "Easily," said Kelly Mary. "Count me in on this." "All right, so we got our rules established," said Carlos. "Person who lasted longest wins." "Agreed." Everyone nodded their heads. "Excellent," said Carlos. "I'll be the referee of this bet." "Why don't you participate?" asked Marta. "Because he's the only one of us without any annoying habits," said Leilani. "Right," said Carlos. "So, let's start this." Can we start tomorrow?" asked Raina. "I guess so," said Carlos. "Yeah," cheered the Rainbow Sisters, Raina and Kelly Mary. Everyone dispersed, and went to go do all the things that they wouldn't be able to do the next day. Izzy went to work out. Leilani went to ride her ball. Marta went to go give a speech. Lidwina went to stuff her face with chocolate and work on inventions. Wanda went to put on her makeup. Lara went to eavesdrop on her. Rose went to search for people to beat up. Kelly Mary went to go perform magic, and Raina went to yell at everyone. After a few hours, they all went to bed, and the bet would start the minute they woke up. The next morning, Leilani woke up. Instead of getting in her ball, she walked downstairs to the dining room. It took her a bit longer than normal, but she managed to get there. "Good morning," said Raina in a soft, polite tone. "Morning," replied Leilani. Leilani looked around the dining room. Lidwina wasn't eating her normal chocolate cereal. Instead, she was eating fruit flakes. "These are terrible," mumbled Lidwina. "How's that cereal?" asked Leilani. "Ah, great," said Lidwina. "Who needs extra chocolatey pebbles when I have these?" "Yep, these are great." Lidwina took a spoonful and swallowed it with a displeased face. I'm just going to go check on how everyone else is doing," said Leilani. Leilani left the dining room and headed into the living room. She saw Marta watching a talk show. "Hi Marta," said Leilani. Marta gestured to Leilani as if she was saying hi. Leilani then saw Izzy and Lara. "Want to play some cards?" asked Izzy. "Sure," said Leilani. Leilani sat down next to Izzy and Lara. "I got this bet in the can," said Lara. "No way, I got it," replied Izzy. "You both are going to lose to me," said Leilani. "I'm actually getting used to walking on foot." The three proceeded to play cards. Meanwhile, Wanda and Kelly Mary were in the hallway. "Do I still look pretty?" Wanda asked hastily. "Never been uglier," replied Kelly Mary. "No," yelled Wanda. "I need my makeup." "Shut up," shouted Rose, who was in her room drawing fighting cartoon characters as a way to still get joy out of fighting. Back in the living room, Lara, Izzy, and Leilani had just finished playing cards. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. "Everyone's doing so well," said Leilani. "How can I win?" Leilani sat on a chair and begins to think. After a few minutes of thinking, she came to a conclusion. "I'll make them cave," thought Leilani. "I'll torment them all into caving, and then I'll win." Leilani left the living room. "Man, I'm a genius," exclaimed Leilani. "Now who shall be my first victim?" Leilani headed into the kitchen, opened the fridge, and saw a couple of chocolate bars in the fridge. "Perfect," said Leilani. Leilani grabbed the chocolate bars and went off to find Lidwina. She found Lidwina lying on the floor in her room, drooling and twitching. "Must have chocolate," Lidwina said wearily. "Oh look, a chocolate bar," said Leilani. Leilani pulled a chocolate bar out of her pocket. Lidwina stares fixedly at the chocolate bar. Leilani unwrapped it and began to eat it. "Delicious," said Leilani. "It's so rich, so chocolatey." Lidwina started twitching. That was delicious," said Leilani. "I think I'll have another." Leilani pulled another chocolate bar out of her pocket. Right when she did, Lidwina tackled Leilani and shoved the chocolate bar in her mouth. "Sweet chocolate!" exclaimed Lidwina. "Ha, you lost!" exclaimed Leilani. "I don't care," said Lidwina. "I need chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate." Lidwina ran away to go get more chocolate. "1 down, 7 to go," said Leilani. Leilani walked away and found Rose walking down the hallway. "Is this really going to be worth it?" thought Leilani. "I hope so." Leilani got in front of Rose. "Hey Rose, you're looking a bit pudgy," said Leilani. "Shut up," said Rose. "I'm not scared of you," said Leilani. You're a little weakling. Stop, yelled Rose. I bet even Izzy could beat you up, said Leilani. No, she can't, shouted Rose, growing angrier by the second. Why don't you go back to collecting butterflies? Said Leilani. Right when she finished, Rose pulled her arm back and punches Leilani so hard she went flying into the wall. Raina watched this as he walked down the hall. Rose, you lost, cheered Raina. Can it, you dope, said Rose. Dope, said Raina. Big, fat, dope, said Rose. Why, you little, yelled Raina so loud, everyone in the castle heard. You're going to the dungeon for a week. Everyone had soon swarmed the hallways. You lost, they all shouted. Yeah, mumbled Raina. Rose lost as well, said Leilani, still stuck in the wall. I'll help you, said Izzy as she pulled Leilani out of the wall. Thanks, replied Leilani. Soon everyone cleared out of the hallway. Leilani was the only one left there. Now that's how to kill two birds with one stone, said Leilani. Now how about we pay Kelly Mary a little visit? Leilani went to Kelly Mary's workplace. Kelly Mary was sitting there, bored. Bored, Kelly Mary? Asked Leilani. I don't know what to do, said Kelly Mary. Usually I do magic. I've already read. I've gone for a walk. There's just about nothing left for me to do. What's this? Asked Leilani, walking over to Kelly Mary's table and picking up a wand. A magic wand, said Kelly Mary. Leilani waved it, but nothing happened. I stink at magic, said Leilani. I would really appreciate it if someone skilled could teach me. You wish to learn magic? Asked Kelly Mary, jumping up with joy. Watch this. Kelly Mary waved her wand and made a doll appear. Magic, exclaimed Kelly Mary. Magic, said Lara. I heard that. You lost. Hey, you eavesdropped, said Kelly Mary. Huh, said Lara. What? No. Lara and Kelly Mary ran out of the room screaming. And then there were three, said Leilani. Leilani left and walked down into the living room. Marta was still there watching television. How's the show? Asked Leilani. Marta remained silent. I'm all ears, said Leilani. It's great, exclaimed Marta. Debates, speeches, all that good stuff. I don't care that I lost. I need to talk. Talking is good. I love talking. Almost as much as I like hot weather and wedding cake. Do you like hot weather? That was almost too easy, said Leilani. Just Wanda and Izzy. I'll go take out Wanda first. Leilani walked upstairs to Wanda's room. Wanda was staring at herself in the mirror. Leilani, how ugly am I? Asked Wanda, even more hastily than earlier. Man, you're pretty darn ugly, said Leilani. That makeup really makes you pretty. Grrr. I can't take being ugly any longer, exclaimed Wanda. Wanda quickly began applying makeup. Oh drat, I just lost, shouted Wanda. Well, why won't we head to the dining room now? Said Leilani. Leilani and Wanda headed down to the dining room. Everyone was there. Well, it looks like this bet has come down to just Leilani and Izzy, said Carlos. You all did very well. I'm impressed, not Lidwina, said Raina. She lost after the first hour. I'm sorry, said Lidwina. I can't help that I'm addicted to sweet, rich chocolate. She began to drool. Well, we'll just monitor Leilani and Izzy closely in order to determine the winner, said Carlos. Now eat up. They all began to eat dinner. After dinner, Leilani and Izzy headed into the living room. You've certainly done better than I expected you to do, said Izzy. As have you, replied Leilani. Hey, to honor your job well done, why don't you meet me back here in an hour for a celebration? A celebration, said Izzy. Sounds great. See you then. Leilani quickly ran to her room. Now all I have to do is get Izzy to cave, said Leilani. And girl, I know just what to do. Leilani began to laugh evilly. Is everything all right in there, honey? Asked Carlos. Everything's great, Dad, said Leilani. Leilani began to gather workout equipment and brought it to the living room. Within half an hour, the living room was looking more like a weight room. Soon Izzy showed up, and Leilani was standing right in the middle of the room, with exercise equipment surrounding her. What's this? Asked Izzy. Just a little gym, said Leilani, picking up a barbell. Yep. Nothing like lifting some weights. Those fragile arms could use it. Izzy looked at her skinny arms. Meanwhile, the rest of the family gathered in the living room. Oh, I can feel myself getting stronger by the minute, said Leilani as she continued to do some curls. Izzy's eyes widened. Yup. Now I think I'll do some pull-ups, said Leilani. Pull-ups can get you incredibly strong. Leilani began doing some pull-ups. Stop, yelled Izzy. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get me to cave. Whatever gave you that idea? Asked Leilani as she began to do some bench presses. Must not cave, said Izzy, looking away from the exercise equipment. It's a shame this brand new barbell system will have to go to waste, said Leilani as she picked up a shiny, golden barbell. Give me that, shouted Izzy. Izzy ran to pick up a 5-pound barbell. She started curling, but got tired after about 3. You lost, shouted Leilani. I win. I win, I win, I win, I win. Congratulations, Leilani, said Carlos. Here's your reward. Carlos hands Leilani a jar with 200 coins. Yes, said Leilani. I'm the winner. Leilani began doing a celebratory dance. However, she tripped and fell. The jar opened up and the coins rolled down the nearby vent. No, yelled Leilani. She ran over to the vent. My money, shouted Leilani. Leilani tried to open up the vent but couldn't. Sorry, Leilani, said Carlos. It looks as if it's lost. No, cried Leilani. Serves you right, said Rose. Trying to lure us into caving, said Marta. I know. What was I thinking? Said Wanda. We all fell for it, said Kelly Mary. And now it's coming back around, said Izzy. Why does it always happen to me? Said Leilani. The end.